Welcome back to my podcast. It's going to be a very special type of episode, and I don't know if I am going to be able to make just one part. I want to include this into my podcast because my story is supposed to be educational, and this is why I believe God wants me to share it now, and why it did not happen years before, because years before, let me tell you, I didn't have the full picture and it was not the right time. But yeah, PSA, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to share, but if you are very sensitive, I would not recommend you listen to this. And my goal is to raise awareness, because for the longest time I didn't know, and now I do know some things. Also, there is some details that I am going to change, because the point is, I would say it's a very severe type of story. But again, the point is not, to get human justice or to point. It's just not. Yeah, this timeline has expired. I do know I am going to get God justice, and this is supposed to be educational and raise awareness. And also, it's the reason I have opened a GoFundMe, because I did my best. I tried a lot of things, and still I am trying to, it's not I am trying, I am doing it, growing my podcast. But yeah, at the moment I would love a solution to get out and to be able to have a life, and to get my own place. As I said, all started 6 years ago when I was put on the streets with my son. He was 4 years. It was very, very traumatic. I was alone when it happened. Okay, so a few things. The flat I was living into was the property of the father of my son, and it was the flat we went to live right after the wedding. So yeah, I was married to the guy. It was the flat we were living since we got married, and it was his property, so we never ever paid a rent. Long story short, he asked for a divorce right after the birth. My son was 2 months, which is not random at all, but I will get into this later. So this was the first trauma, but when this happened, it was 4 years after. And so I was alone in the flat. It was 10:30 a.m. I believe. So someone knocked at the door and asked me to open the door. They tried so many tactics so I would open the door, and I was like, no, I am not opening the door. So what happened was, I was into the flat, and they destroyed the door. And then I was alone in the flat with 3 people. No one presented to me any type of paper, and one woman was like, you have to go. One man who said he was a policeman, but he was, wearing normal clothes. No one gave me any type of paper, ID, nothing. And I was alone, and they were 3, so... And so I was asked to leave the flat. And I am like, how? Like, in my head, I am like, what is this situation exactly? Then the guy who said he was a policeman became physically violent, and I was like, because I was like, I am not leaving. This is my home. I have a child. Like, where am I supposed to go exactly? Plus, again, I don't have any type of papers. I don't even know who you are. You just destroyed my door. And obviously, I am in shock. So, yeah, he became violent physically. And then I was pressured and literally pushed out of the flat. They let me took some clothes, and then the woman closed the door, and I was on the street, like literally like this. And in my head, the first thing I am thinking of, I am like, how, when you have so much money, are you able to do this knowing at 5, 6 I am going to go and take our son, at least on paper, I will get into this later. I am like, how a man is doing this? Like, it's just because you don't need to do this, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, this is how it all started. So I was on the street in 30 minutes with no idea how you can do something like this, not only to a human being, but to plus when this is happening on paper, we are still married. So there is so many, like things that legally speaking this should never ever happen, let alone on a human level. It's your son, you were married, but then it's going to make sense, at least you will get to understand. So obviously I am in shock, and my dad, only person I can call, is not there. He is traveling. Coincidence or not, I am like, I don't know if this is a coincidence. Again, just note this information because after it might make a lot of sense. I am dating a guy and I have absolutely no choice. I don't want to, but I have to call him because I am like, what am I supposed to do? I am literally in front of the door of the flat and I am on the street, and I am like, what is happening to me? I just, yeah. Just the fact to recall this event is very triggering for me, but it has a purpose. So I am calling, let's call him Jacob. So I am calling Jacob and I am like, can you, and he's at work, and I am like, can you come? And he's like, yeah, I am coming. And he came immediately, which, as I said, I just said it in a previous video, but again, I want to make this. And he came immediately, and even though I was grateful, I was like, after, because so many things happened after this event, I am like, I don't know if it was a coincidence. It was almost like he knew it was going to happen. So I will get into this later. But at this moment, I am like, can you come? And he's like, yes. And he's coming immediately, which is a good thing because I am in shock and I don't know what to do. Then my dad is like, I am going to send to you 2 of my friends for your stuff. Now, bear in mind, my whole life is still in the flat. First thing I am doing is I am going to the police station and I am like, this just happened. I have no idea how it is possible to do something like this. And the woman is in complete shock and she is like, this is not possible, this is not normal. I don't even understand what you are saying, because it doesn't make any sense to do something like this. Plus, you are saying that the guy said he was a policeman, but he was not wearing any clothes. What are you even talking about? And even though something like this is happening, it's not happening this way. Your staff is not supposed to still be in the flat. You have to have a truck. They have actually to provide a truck for you to, have all of your things, personal things. Anyway, so I am making a complaint and, doing what you have to do, while knowing, because it's not like when you go to the police station you have to wait. You know how it works. And in my head I am like, I have to pick up my son at 5. Anyway, so now is the worst part, because Jacob has to go and I am going to the school, and I am like, listen, we are not going home because your dad took the home. And it was very, very traumatic for me to say something like this, for him to react. It was, it's always how you feel in those type of situations, and it's obviously not the same for everyone, but for me it was very traumatic. And I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do because no one is there. Bear in mind, it was a narcissistic abuse type of wedding, so I was extremely isolated. I, lost all of my friends, because it is what they are doing. If you know, you know. And so I called someone, a girl, and I was like, listen, can I? And in those moments, you just see people, faces, true colors, and I was like, hey, do you mind if I come with my son for tonight, because I have literally nowhere to go. This just happened. Now bear in mind, the girl is so wealthy, and it's just like she has, I don't even know how many rooms. So at first she said yes, and then she called me like, I don't know, 20 minutes later, and she was like, no, but my husband. I was like, oh my god, I am literally on the streets with a 4-year-old, and like, I don't know how to explain this to you. I have faced a lot of times in this lifetime. Honestly, I don't know why, because I am literally not looking for anything. I am just not this type of woman. I would never ever try to take or to go for a guy who is married. But I have always been in situations where the woman seems to be afraid, and I am like, how in this type of situation you are thinking to something like this? I am literally a mom like you, and I am on the street with a 4-year-old, but you are thinking in your head that, oh my god, your husband is going to be around me, but like, what? So I was like, okay, you know what? It's okay, God's will, it's fine. I am going to find another solution. So she's saying yes and she's saying no. She, like, invented an excuse, and I was like, okay, I know why you are doing this. Obviously, there is a context, so I do know it was for this reason that she said yes and then she said no. Not the point. Now I don't have any type of solution, so I am like, okay, you know what? Let's go watch a movie, because I need to find something to do. So I am going. Actually, no, it was not a movie. Or maybe, I don't know. I was like, let's just find something to do, and he also wanted to eat. Yeah, I think I went to see a movie actually with him. Yeah, it's 9-10 p.m. He wants to eat, so I am going to McDonald's. And then I am looking at the watch, and I am like, what am I supposed to do exactly? So Jacob is calling me and he's like, listen, I am going to come because, you are not going to stay on the street with your son. It's just not possible. It was a very, we were together since 1 month and a half, so it was kind of new, you know. So he's like, I'm going to drop you to, let's go to your father's friend's house. Let your son there, and we are going to go and sleep in a hotel because the friends of my dad were like, we can keep him but you can't stay. When you are the black sheep, you are the black sheep everywhere literally, because it was absolutely for no reason, just to, I don't know, I am not, done enough. You want, it's not enough what happened to me today, you need to do something like this, but it's fine, God's will. So I am letting my son there, and I am very, very traumatized. Like, it's a very long day, and I am, it's not like you are not processing what happened. It's just not, you are in shock, okay? So we are going into a hotel, and let me tell you, I don't even want to be around this guy because the situation is too traumatic, and I am grateful he is here, even though, you know. So, obviously, I was not going to take my son to school the day after, so I called the school and I was like, he's sick, whatever. Now, this happened on a Wednesday, and my dad was coming back on Sunday evening. So from now it is Thursday morning, from Thursday to Sunday evening, I don't know where I am going to sleep, right? So Jacob had to go to work, and he was like, listen, same, today after work we are going to just have a day and, I don't know, go and, just try to do something today. Go into a Starbucks, and when I finish work we are going to, because you have to let the room at 12. We left the hotel, he went to work, and I was literally on the streets trying to find an activity until he was able to meet me again, which was, I think, at 6 or 7 p.m. So, yeah. So on Thursday evening, my son was still there. I went into another hotel with Jacob. Then you have Friday. On Friday, I had to go to the house of my father's friends, because on Saturday morning it was the day. Like, bear in mind, this is happening, and I don't even know how you can do this. I don't know, as a human being, as a dad, as someone who was literally married to the woman you are doing this. Like, I just don't, it's just not making any sense at this moment in my head. So yeah, I had to, it was a week. On Saturday morning, I had to take my son to his dad. Long story short, on Friday, I had to take my son from the house he was staying. And so on Friday evening, I have absolutely no idea where am I going to sleep with my son. I knew a girl, and I asked her, hey, do you mind? And she was like, you know what, I am not even here tonight. I am not going to stay in the city, so sure, I can meet you and give you the keys. Thank God. Yeah, on Saturday morning, I am dropping my son to his dad. And I am on the street still. So I call Jacob. I am meeting him again.